Good afternoon, everyone. As is typical for us, we're all gathered here at the spring feast, Passover, as it is called. It is our custom and our belief that we are to gather where Yehovah has chosen to place His name and partake of this feast, the Passover Unleavened Bread Feast. We do this 3 times a year at Passover, Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. We leave our homes and we travel to wherever the feast site is, and we gather together and fellowship and worship during that feast. As anyone in the church knows, there always seems to be difficulties and trials and tribulations in the build-up to the feast. People endure many different trials during the not only the build-up to the feast, but also in traveling to the feast. So it can be a challenge for many. Many endure health problems. They endure family difficulties and different types of things during the build-up, and it makes it very stressful for them to leave their homes and attend the feast as is required, but they do it. And we're tested through these trials, but Yehovah promises that He will provide a way out or see you through that trial. When we look in 1 Corinthians 10:13, it says, "There has no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it." So we can take comfort in the fact that while He may allow us to be tested and suffer trials and tribulations, He'll also provide a way out of those trials so that you aren't tempted without some way of getting out of it. And of course, brethren are supposed to be praying for one another in trials, praying for one another in good times as well. It is our job as brethren, our duty as brethren, to ask Yehovah for protection, that His hand of peace and safety be upon all of His people around the world. And in this way, we empathize with our brothers, and we can hopefully put ourselves in their situation and understand how their suffering may be impacting them. It's easy to sit in judgment of one another, but it's through that empathy that we have compassion for one another as well. So we need to make sure that we are praying for one another in these trials, especially as these times seem to be escalating and speeding up. Things are going to get difficult for anyone trying to do what God asks him to do. So we have to be praying for one another and making sure that we're there for one another during these times of trial and tribulation. In James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4, it says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So it's through those trials that you are made perfect, because it is a constant test of your character. And as your character gets tested, you fail. And as you go through this 21 days of sanctification and you're examining yourself, you're looking at the areas where you may have failed, you grow. So it's only by failure that we grow. All of those trials that seem to, sometimes we wonder why. Why do I have to endure this? I'm trying to do what I think Yehovah wants me to do, but I just get hammered. Well, those things are there to teach us where we still have shortcomings. And thankfully, our Father doesn't reveal them to us all at once, but has mercy on us and only, opens our eyes to our own shortcomings little by little as we can endure them. So when you go through trials, that's why, James says to call it all, count it for joy, because it is in that process that you are going to become a more perfect human being.